Look at this camera. Look at this absolute work of art right here. This is the Canon R50, and in my opinion, this is the best value digital camera in the entire galaxy, in the entire world. I love this camera so much. Go out and buy one right now. Come back, and I'm going to show you exactly how to set it up. Let's do it. All right, welcome back. You got your R50 in your hands. The battery is all charged up. Let's go in and learn how to set this camera up. The default settings on the camera are pretty good out of the box, but there's a few that we need to change. The first thing I need you to do is I need you to get your mode dial off of anything automatic. When we're in any of the auto modes, we can't change some of the menu settings. So let's get this thing on any of these four. It doesn't matter, P, TV, AV, or M. Do it. All right, let's jump to the back of the camera and go into some of our settings. Here we go. Let's start by just pressing the menu button, and that's gonna bring up our camera settings. And we're gonna start here on with the little camera guy right here on screen number 1. We're actually not gonna change anything here. The first screen where we are gonna change something is here on screen number 2. You can see the ISO speed settings. Let's go to that settings, and we wanna change our max for auto ISO. We're actually going to raise this up as high as it goes, 32,000. Remember, it's better to have a noisy photo, which is what shooting at a high ISO does, than it is to have a blurry photo. So I'm okay with letting the ISO go that high, and you should be too. Go ahead and press the menu button to go back to your main screen, and now let's jump over to screen number 6. And here on screen number 6, we're not actually gonna change anything. I just wanna point out a setting that I think is really cool, and that is this silent shutter function. And I want you to use this anytime you're taking photos somewhere where it is really quiet. So if you were at a piano recital or a choir concert or somewhere where the noise of the shutter would be really obnoxious, you can turn this feature on, and that will make it so that when you take a photo, did you hear that? I just took a photo, no sound. Now don't forget to turn it off when you're done. I've accidentally left this setting on before, and I've been pushing the button thinking that the camera wasn't taking photos because I wasn't hearing the shutter, and it's just because it was in that silent shutter mode. And then another setting in here I want to change is this release shutter without card. This will let you take pictures if there's no memory card in the camera. I think that's a terrible idea. Let's turn that off. Let's jump over to screen number 7, and we're going to come in here to this image stabilizer mode. We're going to turn this on. That's a helpful feature to have. Press menu to go back, and then we're going to go down to image review. And listen, when I shoot, I take a lot of photos and I shoot really quickly. I don't want to look at the photos I've taken until I'm ready to look at them. So I turn image review off, and I think you should too. But if that really bothers you, leave it on maybe 2 seconds, but I think honestly off is where it should be. Let's press menu again to go back. And now let's just keep going until we get into our autofocus settings. Here we are. Now we don't need to change anything here, but I just want to point out how cool this setting is on this R50. You've got the subject to detect. You can tell it what kind of subject you're photographing. Most of the time we're going to leave this on people, so I recommend doing that. And you can even tell it to find eyeballs and focus on eyeballs when it sees people. And so those are both set that way by default, but I just want to point that out. Let's jump over here to screen number 2. This preview autofocus is annoying. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. And what this setting is you'll find that when this preview autofocus is turned on, if you have the camera pointed at things, it's constantly autofocusing, even if you're not trying to take pictures. And I find that to be very annoying and wear down the battery. So I like to just turn that off. Okay, that's it for our autofocus settings. Let's jump over to our playback settings. And the only one I want you to change on here is on screen number 4. And this is a personal preference. It's not required, but I really like this autofocus point display to be enabled. And what this is going to do is make it so that when you're looking at your photos only on your camera, it's going to put a focus point where the camera was focused on. And I love this because I can quickly see on a group of shots, did I nail the focus or is the little focus point on the background? And listen, those little boxes that show you where it focused, it's only there on the camera. It's not on the actual photo, so you don't have to worry about that. All right, let's keep cruising along. Let's go over to the wrench here. I just want to point out that format card lives right here under the wrench. You should be formatting your card every time you put a card into the camera, assuming you've backed up the images that were on the card, because formatting the card is going to delete everything on it. But if you've ever had a memory card error halfway through a shoot, you know the pain of not formatting before you start a shoot. So good habit to get into, to just always format your memory card before you start shooting. Okay, here on screen number 2, I want to show you what this mode guide is. I find this to be very obnoxious, but some people like it. So I'll let you decide whether to turn it off or not. But notice when I come out of the menu, when I change my mode dial on my camera, it's giving me this little preview of here's what you can do in program, and here's what Scene Intelligent Auto does. And it's always there. It never goes away. After a while, that gets really annoying. So if you go into your menus, go to mode guide and disable that, that will get rid of those screens. I think for most people, getting rid of those screens is going to be a nice little feature. Another thing we can turn off on this screen is the beep. I actually really like the beep, but some people find it very obnoxious. Every time your camera focuses on something, do you hear that? it beeps. I really like that. I find it to be a pleasant experience, but some people hate it. So if you want to turn that off, you are welcome to do so. And then the last thing I want to show you is how to set up some of your favorite menu items. So we're going to go all the way over to the star and we're going to add a My Menu tab. So let's click on that. We're going to add My Menu tab 1, and it's going to let us add shortcuts to our favorite settings. So I'm going to add a shortcut to format the card and to turn on silent mode. So I'm just going to select this first configure, press the set button, select items to register, and I'm going to scroll. I know that format is near the very bottom, so I actually went up. And I'm just going to scroll up for a little bit until I see that format option. There it is, format card. So I'm going to set, and I'm going to add that guy right there. I'm also going to add the shortcut to that beep. Maybe I want a quick shortcut to be able to turn the beep on and off. And maybe I also want that setting for silent shooting. That's way up closer to the top. So we're going to scroll back up until we find that. There it is, silent shutter function. Let's go ahead and press set on that. So you can see now when I go back to my menu, on this green star right here, I have my 3 favorite shortcuts for formatting the card, turning the beep on and off, and turning the silent shutter on and off. You could put whatever you want in there. All right, that is it, my friend. You now have one of the best cameras out there for the price, and you've got it set up, dialed, ready to go. Listen, if this video is helpful, be sure to like it, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. I have more videos coming on how to use the Canon R50 that are going to blow your mind. Stay tuned.